Okay, I'm going to do another down and dirty video here. This time I'm not doing my usual. Instead of breaking out the good camcorder and being all prepared, I'm using a little flip camcorder here, and I'm going to do a quick video. What I'm going to do here is mix some epoxy, and I've got these silicone molds which will be on our website on EpoxyJewelry.com, and I'm going to add some embedments in them. But first I got to pour a little thin clear layer so that the embedment will be floating inside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix up a very small amount of our epoxy, and to do this I'm going to use let's see here, what setting should we use? Use milliliters, and I'm going to go with let's see, 5. I'm going to mark this on the 5 milliliters for the hardener, and then I would then use 10 milliliters of the epoxy since it's a 2-to-1 mix. So 5 plus 10 is 15. So there's the second mark. I don't know if you can see that on there, but I got the 2 marks. If you're going to mix this, you would be best off to use less epoxy. If you use too much epoxy, you'd be best off using less hardener. Correct that. The reason is if you use too much hardener, even though this may sound counterintuitive, it will actually take longer to harden, and when it does, it may be, the end product may be flexible instead of hard. Now I suppose if you want something flexible, you could try that, but instead of hardening in 24 hours, it may literally take 3 or 4 days if you use too much hardener. So when doing really small amounts, it's critical to get it right, and I tend to underpour the hardener or overpour the epoxy just a little. In this case, I went right on the line with the hardener first, and then I'm going to overpour a little bit of the epoxy part itself here. And I just did a real quick thing there. I just drew 2 lines on there so I can see where to go. As long as you hold this level, you're okay, or you could set it on a desktop and do it even better. I'm going to overpour that just a hair. Okay. And now mix it up real good. By the way, I always put down wax paper in case you make spills. You will not have a hard time cleaning it up. And our epoxy, one of the things is when you're mixing it, it gets kind of cloudy. That's the 2 parts starting to mix. You'll know it's mixed when it turns clear again, when the cloudiness goes away. And in this particular container, we're going to go ahead and scrape the sides down because we want to make sure and get all of the epoxy and resin together. Now, we always mix in 2 containers. This is to make sure that we don't leave any unmixed material in the container to contaminate the epoxy. All it would take is a little bit of unmixed material to ruin a pour. So now I've got that fairly well mixed. It's not showing any cloudiness. So I'm going to take another disposable little cup here, transfer it over. Now, what I don't really want to do is scrape this to get every drop out, because some of that may not be mixed. Okay, so now we'll go like this. Mix that for a little bit more. Make really sure it's mixed. Make sure it's clear. It's nice and clear now. And I've got these 2 molds here that I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit in. And I'm just eyeballing how deep I want it before I put the embedment in. And I think that'll work for that one. And that's probably enough for that one. Yeah, that'll work. And now I'm going to let these harden, and then what I'm going to do is I have these clay canes that I had a person make for me, and I'm going to put them in. I'm going to glue these in there to the clear part, and then I'll fill it up. I may put some more clear and then add some color, or just add color. I'm not sure yet exactly. This one over here is going to be kind of interesting. It's a flower. This is a sunflower design, and so what I'm going to do is I've got one of these orange canes here. It's got some nice color to it, and I'm going to put that right where the sunflower goes. So this will be floating inside. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the outer color yet. Maybe do yellow for the leaves. And I won't make it this thick either. I'll only do it part way up. You know, you don't have to pour these molds all the way thick. So anyways, this is the first part of the mold, or first part of the sequence here, and I will come back and record the rest when these have cured overnight, and see you later.